What it do, anime crew? Amen. Listen, as of 15 seconds ago, I have just finished Tamako Market / Love Story, and I just wanted to talk about it right away because it's a very, very, very special series. Earlier this year, I had watched Garden of Remembrance, which was a short film by Naoko Yamada. And I thought it was the best short I'd ever seen until I gave it a few weeks and let the hype die down. I'm like, all right, no, I'm still a cat soup head, but this is like right there. This is a great number 2. I loved the way it sold so deeply the emotions of the main character. I loved the tempo. I loved the ethos behind it. The color palette was incredible. The character designs were unbelievably great, and it was just so effective at ripping, tugging at your heart so aggressively, but with such gentle imagery, so vigorously toying with your heart. But I made a whole video about that and how good it is at sort of lulling you into a state of emotional sensitivity and vulnerability, and then striking and pulling at that, and it's so great. But Tamako Market and Tamako Love Story are two different things. They're two different entities. They are inherently intertwined, and they make each other better. But what makes Tamako Market great is that there is not very much emotional conflict. It is a place that is hyper optimistic. You never think anything's going to go wrong, and I would say, no, I can't even say that about the movie, but for the most part, you don't even think anything's going to go wrong in the movie. From the beginning of it, you believe you know how it's going to end because you know the ethos of this series and you know what they're going to do. But I was still so nervous because I just wanted to see it conclude so badly. Tamako Market is a great slice of life series. It's in many ways a slice of life series that is very much like the others, but it's a little bit better in every way. It's a little bit funnier, but not crazily. It's a little bit more bold, but not crazily. The voice acting's a little bit better. The production's a little bit better. The music's a little bit more memorable. Everything's just like 10% more than what you would usually be getting out of this slice of life show, and it just makes for a remarkably well-rounded series that I had very few gripes with. There were a few of the side characters, people within the market's character designs I didn't really care for as much, but at the end of the day, there were a lot of very emotionally rich moments, and it was just a remarkably pleasant environment. The directing in both Market and Love Story was super layered, with characters in the foreground and then in the background, and then twisting shots. I give it a sense of three-dimensionality, especially in Love Story on that one, but also such a heightened emphasis on the foreground and background in terms of objects and the space that these characters actually occupy. It's much more meticulously planned out than I've seen in other anime, and that gives the backgrounds an extra level, or I guess the landscapes in general rather, an extra level of depth. I think of episode 1 of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, where they talk about how bringing an environment to life is done through the interaction between the subjects, the characters, and the background. That is how you bring an animation to life, and that is how you make the full thing its own living entity. That was done so phenomenally here. Oh my god, Tamako Love Story is so good, y'all. It's so gentle. It's very light on the BGM. There's not a lot of music in Tamako Love Story, unlike in Market. There's a lot of music in Tamako Market. There's a lot of bits. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of love to it. Almost every episode is just a unique exploration of love in a new way. Everyone loves somebody. But Tamako Love Story is even greater because it does have that drama, which admittedly takes away one of the more unique things about the Tamako Market, just the fact that it is so relentlessly pleasant, which, that's kind of just sort of the nature of Iyashikei. It's not a full-blown Iyashikei, And Tamako love story is certainly not even somewhat Iyashike. That's just like straight up human drama. Fucking March comes in like a lion shit. But what happens in Love Story is it takes away that BGM and it puts so many more subtle sounds to where it tunes the viewer into being more sensitive to any slight change. Any sound that comes up is going to strike the viewer's ear in just like a little bit more impactful of a way, because it is a pretty silent movie, except for, of course, the iconic song from the best episode of Tamako Market, which was episode 9 or 10, I believe, the one where it shows her dad confessing to her mother. That song, it's so beautiful. That is sort of the soundtrack to this movie for sure. But everything else is very light. It's very sparing. There's a tremendous emphasis placed on the color palette here. We have extremely vibrant color theory, like all over this thing. Not vibrant, I mean dynamic, varied. It's not like the entire thing looks like Garden of Remembrance does. It's more so an issue of how fluid it is, how much it changes based on the emotional state of the characters, and how much effort is just in general with the audio and the visual, with what I was saying about the color and the backgrounds. A lot of times like thematic emphasis on like pinks and blues in the backgrounds, like warm and cold colors, harsh contrasts. I think of the scene with the grandpa in the latter half of the movie as like the only time in the entire thing where it really like catches you off guard with an abrasive sound. It is just so tender. It lulls you into a sense of emotional security, and it never abuses that. It really doesn't, but it lulls you into a sense of security with the series being so upbeat, so optimistic, and so relentlessly positive. But then Tamako Love Story sort of uses that those good graces that it's built up and really starts fucking with you, man. It starts messing with you. It starts doing this, the will they, won't they, sort of thing that I usually hate, that sort of is supposed to replicate that feeling of longing and uncertainty you have when you actually like someone in real life. And I have to just take a second to collect my thoughts real quick. Sorry. This is literally, I started recording 15 seconds after this movie ended, so I haven't had any time to like piece it all together. But Tamako Love Story is a story of change. It is a story of a deeply cultured girl who loves everybody. She cares about all the people around her, and she's extremely emotionally tuned in to her community. However, it's all changing around her as time marches on. And she, at first, is terrified of that because he confesses to her. Mochi's, whatever his name is, starts with Mochi. Mochi confesses to her, and it changes everything. She can't even look at Mochi the same, which is like her thing. She's the Mochi freak. And so she basically just has to like slowly, almost agonizingly, come to terms with her new emotions, let go of the things that are going to change, realize that not everything's going to change, and embrace a potential new chapter with him. And, it's a story of growth. It's a story that adds nuance to the themes of the original series of community, of working together, of sticking by your friends, all of that stuff. All of those really great lessons are sort of challenged in this movie a little bit, but more so just added to, I'd say. Like, there is still beauty in developing relationships with these people you meet, and sometimes you will split paths with them. Sometimes then it's not always going to stay the same, but you have to keep being open to developing new relationships and new types of relationships, and that's sort of kind of the message here. Oh my god. It is just an emotional doozy, to say the very least. I'd like to say, I liked the bird. I thought he was kind of cool. He started to get a little annoying towards the second half of the show. I'm like, these human characters are all so great. I love like so many of these human characters. So like, why on earth does this bird gotta be here? The bird wasn't there in the movie, and let me tell you, that's the difference between an 8 out of 10 and a strong 9 right there. Uh, I didn't realize how much the bird's presence was low-key taking away from the show. But also, I mean, the movie just has a fucking ridiculous production value. It's not even fucking fair how good that movie looks. They utilize a lot of shaky cam, more 3D shots with a lot of dimensionality to them. Oh my God. Y'all, there's not much to put into words here because it's not a story that is all too intricate. It's pretty simple. It's a love story. The devil's in the details, the devil's in the execution, and Naoko Yamada is like the GOAT anime director, apparently. But it's just beautiful. I just can't say anything, but you need to watch it. It might be the best. I have to like wait on this, but it might be my favorite romance anime I've ever seen in my life. Like, it is so incredible. And I know that this rant is probably insufferable to listen to because it's just me making a couple of points and then like slowly trailing off and getting quiet and then proclaiming how good it is in extremely vague terms that do absolutely nothing for you, the listener. But you know what? It's just that good. I will say one thing. The only thing that's bad about this movie is the fact that we have to see the lesbian get cucked so hard, man. How many more L's are the lesbians gonna have to take here? Like, she was just like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you should go with him. Yeah, I'm gonna pull the string. I'm gonna make sure that you two end up like happily ever after together. Good. That's what she should do as a friend. But come on, man. It's every time. I mean, this show is like not bad about like queer baiting or anything. It has openly lesbian characters. It has openly trans characters. But it's just tough to see her get cucked. It's like, you know, when are we gonna stop letting our best female friends end up with some fucking guy? Like, yeah, no, he's a good guy. Yeah, he like loves her from the bottom of his heart. But I mean, it's like, come on, like, so does she. Like, she appreciates her so much. She has that true love, that self-sacrificing love where she just wants to see her happy. And it's kind of just like, man, I wish she got a little bit of a romantic, happier ending too, because I don't know, it's just tough, man. It's just tough. I think it's unfortunate that lesbians in anime have to take so many L's. As the girl, the main character girl, always ends up with the main character boy. It's a little bit unfortunate. But y'all are doing God's work. I'm a guy. I allegedly date girls, so I mean, if I ever like a girl, you guys can totally feel free to be self-sacrificing. No, but I'm just playing around. Yeah, no, I kind of felt bad for her, honestly. Like, I felt like her whole character got a little bit shafted. It wasn't in a bad way. Like, it was very intentional. I didn't feel like they forgot what to do with her or their inclusion of her was cynical or anything like that. I just felt bad for her as a person, even though she's not a person. So, that's my only problem with it. It's not even really a problem. It's just kind of a funny observation, because, yeah, dude, lesbians be getting the bottom end of the barrel in all of these, bro. She just got cucked hard in that movie. But yeah, I don't care because I loved it, and I heart hetero slop, and Tamako Market is the best movie ever. Or Tamako Love Story, rather. Tamako Market's a really good show, but Tamako Love Story is a extremely great, very special movie. It's a very special movie. All right, I think that's anime out.